Hi everyone. It is a beautiful sunny day in Iowa. No wind. You guys, this is a big deal when it's not windy over here. So before I start my paintings that I should be working on, I'm gonna do a little productive procrastination and make a video for you guys because that's what I feel like doing today. And here's what we're gonna talk about. My favorite watercolor brushes. I assure you they're nothing special, but I do think that they're worth filling people in on what my favorite ones are and why. So up on my computer, I have a description of all my favorites so I can read them to you. So if you hear me sound like I'm reading, it's because I am. Okay, my first brush I'm gonna talk about, hope I can say this right, is the Utrecht brand. Not sure if that's how you say it. Forgive me if I'm wrong and correct me if you know the answer. I love this brush. I love how beautiful it is. It's like a metallic, cool looking green with gold accents and nickel here. And I love how weighted it is. It's heavy right here, so it naturally wants to drop down and you can keep your loose painting and easily, use your shaky old man hand, as I call it, to create your paintings. I also love always that it's a round brush with a pointed tip. So I can grab a whole bunch of water and load it up. And I can cover a big area like this. But because it's got such a fine tip, I can also do very detailed work. Love this brush. It just feels good in my hand. This actually came in a set of random stuff that I bought at a Blick's outlet store near me. So this is my new favorite. It is a size 10. I will make sure to put links for all these brushes in the comments below. But about this one, it is a synthetic brush. So you can get a real hair brush. This one is synthetic, and the wooden handle, I don't know, it's a good brush, guys. And who cares if it's real or synthetic? Not I. That leads me to my second one, and I also don't know how to pronounce this. It is, let's say, the Isabi Squirrel Hair Brush. So this is Original Siberian Blue Squirrel Quill Mop. So this is real hair, which means this was real expensive. And by that, I mean this could have been a $30 brush, whereas the other one that I showed you was probably $9 or $10. Excuse me. I confess that I bought this and two others like it for prestige. I kind of thought, yeah, I've been an artist now for 6 years and I think I can move up a little bit in my brushes. So I get this squirrel hair one and it's cool. Like from an artist standpoint, I appreciate that it has this wooden handle and it's hand tied with these brass wires. I mean, that's cool, but I'll tell you what bothers me about it. I don't know if you can see this, but these little brass wires don't always stay flat. So they poke my hand, which I find really annoying. And in my rags where I dry off my brushes, it'll get snagged on my towel. And some of these have broken from me pushing them back to how they should be. And then look at this one. I haven't had it very long and it's already started to crack. Makes me mad, but here's why I like it. Certainly not because of the price, but I'm not naturally a loose painter. I keep things pretty tight and detailed, but if I use this one, for some reason I become this loose watercolor artist from I don't know where, and I just, you know, do things like this, and it gets all these cool little shapes. And you know, a round brush, I feel like I can't get these sloppy little marks for when I'm doing something wispy. And this one also can still get very fine, but I don't love it as much as this one. But I do it to keep me loose and feeling free and changing my style up a little bit. And when I am painting, especially trees, I don't want every tree to have the same look and the same leaf shape. So I will alternate not just the direction I hold my brush, but I will alternate what brushes I use. So keep that in mind. That's kind of the purpose of having a bunch of different kinds, to keep that look and that variety going. All right, on to number 3. I can pronounce this one. It's the Winsor & Newton Cotman brush. It's the 777 series. And this is also an artificial, or what am I trying to say, synthetic brush. But what's cool about it, and I don't know if you can see this, but it has a tapered end on here, and I'll show you what that's for. So I use this one mainly when I do pine trees, and I'll show you how I do that. I hold the brush vertical first to get the top of my evergreen, and then I hold it horizontal, and I kind of go back and forth, going a little wider. And of course, then I'll add some more colors in there for depth, but I'll do my evergreens that way. But you know, you can also use it for something like this, which I don't have the need for in what I do, but it is a nice option. Who knows, I might need it one day. Maybe if you're making some barn boards or something. And then you could make a really thin line that way also. I like this brush, but here's what I really, really like. With the end, I could make little dents in here, like this. And if you see what happens, when I scratch it, the paint, because I have broken the surface of the paper, the paint will gravitate into those ridges that I made. And that can be a really cool look if you're doing some prairie grass. I'll give you a little example here. I'll do a really quick prairie grass look. So let's just say, let's pretend this is prairie grass. You just scratch away. It'll take a while, but you'll start to see, you'll start to sink in there. So that's what I love about this one. And I use this one a lot as well, which is why it's in the video. The next brush is, I think, one of the first ones that I bought. I got the whole series. It is the Princeton Heritage series, also synthetic sable. I can't say that I love these, and I can't say that I hate them. I have kind of a neutral feeling about them. They were one of the first ones I bought. They're here, I grabbed them. It's a great price range. I mean, if you're just starting out, this would be a very nice set to get. Everything about it is good. There's no reason you shouldn't get this. I think I use this one a lot because it holds a lot of paint for when I do little detailed things. I just feel like I have a lot of control with this one. But it doesn't really have a lot of coverage. You know, it's a very small brush. But if you're doing a lot of little work and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this one is very good. And that's the Princeton Heritage series, also synthetic. Okay, I am really loving these Utrecht ones. There's something about them that every time I hold one, I like it. This is the same brand as the first one I showed you, this one. But I think the first one was a much higher quality. You can just feel the good weight to it. This one is good also. I use it a lot. Just your basic round brush. When you are looking for brushes, just make sure that they are for watercolor, because watercolor brushes are meant to absorb a lot of water, whereas other brushes are meant to grip onto paint. These are meant to absorb water. This one is a size 6. It looks like I pretty much work from like a 3 to a 10 in all the work I do. Okay, is this really my last one? Oh, this will be fun. Okay, the last one is by Creative Mark. Let me get it up here so I can read it. It is the scrubber brush, my number 12. I will show you what this is for. First of all, this is a very stiff brush. This is not to actually paint with watercolor. It is just what its title is called, a scrubber brush, which means, let's say you make a mistake. Now, when I teach, I'm always gonna preach that there's no mistakes. It's just something didn't turn out how you expected, and chances are if you show it to a friend who didn't know what it was supposed to be, they're gonna see something different, something cool that you missed, and mistakes aren't really mistakes. They're just good. They're happy accidents. But if you really decide that, oh wait, that was not an evergreen tree that was by the house, it was an oak tree, oh my gosh, the customer doesn't want that. You dip your scrubber brush in clean water and scrub a little bit, lightly pick up with a tissue. If you push too hard, sometimes you can push the paint further into the paper if you have a lower quality paper. And you can scrub again, dab, dab, dab. And we can keep doing this, especially on my high quality paper. You can do this until there's pretty much no color. You just gotta vary your direction. But even now, you know, you could easily, after this dries, turn this into an oak tree and no one would ever know that you had an evergreen there. When I was first learning to paint, I was working on this commission of a house on a pond, and there was a lot of water in it, and I was kind of new at water. I scrubbed out the entire pond, and thank goodness I had good paper because it never poked a hole through it. And now everyone who I've ever painted for is wondering if it was their painting. I am not telling. So I'm gonna get more aggressive here. And see, I'm starting to kind of ruin the integrity of my paper because I really did scrub a lot. But that is what the scrubber brush is for. Have no fear, there are no mistakes, but if you're positive you made one, you can use that. And I think that's all. So when you're out shopping for brushes, I think the key is get a variety. I don't think you want all of the same brand because all you're gonna get is the same brush in different sizes. So mix it up, vary it up. I'll be right back. This is my collection here. And I actually have more, but these are the ones that I keep. Of course, you need a toothbrush for making splatter marks. You need fan brushes for some grasses and cool trees, and just mix it up. Have fun. Put them in your hand, feel it, and if you get a feeling, get that one. If it just feels right in your hand, get that one, because that's gonna be the one you're gonna grab when you're painting. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys around with more tips. Bye.